Hello, everybody.
Hello there.
Hello.
We are the Jedi Archives. Every other Sunday, the first and third Sundays, we go over comic reviews. If you're new to the show, my name's Jonathan.
I'm Bryce.
And I'm Mike.
All right, guys. So right now we are going to do the 5-issue part of the issue called "Fear of the Jedi" from Star Wars: High Republic.
And we're starting with the issue number 1 of Fear of the Jedi, which has some variant covers. And I'm going to start with... I'm going to start with the intros. So here it is. What Scares a Jedi? The New York Times bestselling author Kevin Scott returns with artist Marika Cresta for the galaxy-shattering final arc of Star Wars: The High Republic. As fighting within the Nihil occlusion zone intensifies, Jedi Master Keeve Trennis is set upon a path that will change her life forever. Guest starring the Acolyte's Wookiee Jedi Master Kel Naka, alongside fan-favorite characters from Star Wars: The High Republic novels, audio dramas, and comics. And so here we see, of course, Kel Naka from the Acolyte, and Tay Surek, one of my personal favorites, Lorna D, and Keeve
Skier.
Trennis, and Skier.
Let's not forget about Orbelin.
Of course, Orbelin. Who can forget Orbelin?
This
Blobby.
guy's
Blobby.
Doctor Strange stuff.
He's the blob.
Pulling Doctor Strange stuff.
And here's a variant with none of the writing.
Yep.
You can enjoy the
The
artwork.
Virgin variant.
Who doesn't love the Virgin? Kalnaka himself.
These are that's the common variants.
Master and Apprentice.
So good.
And in honor of the Acolyte, we got May and Osha. So those are the 5 covers for issue 1. And I'm going to go on to the next issue, number 2. And in issue 2, it continues with the battle for Naboo begins. So we will be going to Naboo as Keeve Trennis prepares to breach the storm wall. The Lorna D of old returns with murder on her twisted mind. The villainous Nihil holds Naboo, but for how long? A call to arms is heard and the battle lines drawn. So something's going on. Here we see Taserek. Kalnaka's on the ground and some others. Skier.
Chancellor.
Lena So looking like Padme Amidala with her 2 Targons. That looks really good. That looks really good. Yeah, like that one. Moving on to number 3. Blockade over Eriadu. Lines are drawn as Keeve Trennis' Stormwall Defense Fleet joins the fight against the Nihil. Can Keeve remain true to the light as she leads her team into battle? Meanwhile, heartbreak is relived as past catches up with one of Lorna D's crew. It's nice to see Skier back fighting alongside Trennis. With both of his arms.
Yes.
They really should kill them off. It would have been more impactful. Was it a year ago or whatever? But
Remember his little arm? His little T-Rex arm? Look at Lorna. Menacing. And next issue. Number 4, Nightmare Above Eriadu. Keith Trennis and her team of battle-weary Jedi must face their biggest challenge and their greatest fear. The Nameless strike as you've never seen them before. What is the secret of the Nightmare Fleet? And how can Taster Rex defend himself against the person he loves the most? Oh, I love this issue. It's a good one. Fear of the Jedi. Nightmare over Eriadu. Eve. Oh, they're all grabbed, captured by the Nameless. And then out of nowhere, there's Ray. Yeah.
I think those were the May issues. That's why those were like. Well, I don't know why those were like that.
Like what?
The random Star Wars ones.
Why did it have Ray?
Yeah. What did it say? It says something about an anniversary on it.
Yeah, 10th anniversary.
Ray and BB-8? The Force Awakens 10th anniversary? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Okay.
I don't think she showed up in the issue.
Nope.
Somehow
No.
Ray showed up.
Somehow Ray returned. And then in the last issue for our review today, A Call to Arms. The Geos under attack. Republic forces outnumbered and outgunned. With the battle for Eriadu and the fate of the Republic hanging in the balance, Jedi Marshal Keith Trennis addresses the galaxy. The end of the war is coming, but who will pay the ultimate price? Battle in space. Oh, this is a great cover. Mother Coral.
Mm.
I love this one. Oh, Finn. Why did this one come out too? Oh, 10th anniversary. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So those are the 5 issue covers with their variants. And now we can get into the review of what happens in this story in these 5 issues. So I've got my notes for all 5. And the first issue, we have the start of all of this with Kevin Scott launching it with this multi-issue attack. It's leading with the new Stormwall Defense Fleet alongside Skier, Steve Krennis,
Steve Krennis.
Keith Trennis, sorry. Keith Trennis. It's early for me. I'm in California. Keith Trennis is leading the new Stormwall Defense alongside Skier. While Lorna D and her Tempest Breakers pursue rogue Children of the Storm on war-torn Naboo. So it's nice to be back on Naboo. We see Keith confronting propaganda and the emotional toll of leadership. So what did you guys think? The first issue, I liked it. I thought it was interesting. I've been reading all the books, so for me it's been really exciting seeing how everything's tying together. Although it's been funny because the comics have been ahead of the books.
Yes.
And so it's been like spoiler alerts for me. So I did finish the final novel, which was interesting because I already knew what was going to happen on a lot of things. But the novel did fill in a lot of gaps on how certain things did happen that I wasn't aware.
Yeah, it's crazy to think how fast the novels have gotten, or the comics got ahead of the books.
I know.
So,
but I really did enjoy it. So,
Well, they
I like it a
also
lot.
said like this isn't the end either. Like there's still plans to play around in this realm, so it'd be kind of interesting to see what kind of stories and stuff they go to. So
Yeah, but we see Kiev, and she's she's all along from the very beginning. We knew that Trennis was gonna fall. She's the first of the fallen 20, right? We've
Mhm.
seen her bust in the library, so
yeah,
we've been waiting for this, and I've been waiting and hoping and waiting to see when she leaves the Jedi Order.
I don't think we're gonna see it. I mean, we only,
Well,
like I said, I think we only got one issue left of Key once it's all wrapped up.
well,
I don't,
spoiler alert, we don't see it in these 5.
yeah,
So
I don't think we're gonna see it in this run. We were all just kind of speculating. Project Luminous is pretty much wrapped up soon. I mean, right? Like,
I think from the phases and what I guess we were. I guess maybe not promised, but like what they stated they were going to deliver under Project Luminous is done.
mhm.
However, there's plans to continue this in some sort of fashion.
yeah, that's where I think we're gonna get more
No.
stuff
Yeah.
planned afterwards, not the original bulk lot. Anything they have afterwards, like wrapping stuff up, maybe revisiting some characters that they didn't know were going to be such fan favorites, but that became fan favorites.
Correct.
Dropping characters we didn't care about. So, like,
Yeah,
everyone
correct.
wants more Lorna Dean, her and her pirates go. I think that'd be cool. So things like that, I think we might get some more, but I think the bulk of it's done. So I don't know if we're going to see Kiev get her villain arc or not.
Well, spoiler alert, we don't, because I finished reading everything and it didn't happen. So,
Right.
but I mean, Yoda does say it. Sad her story is, but we never see it happen. So it happens, but not in these books.
Yeah, and it could be, and that could just be a story all on its own. However,
Yeah.
they want to attack that. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be High Republic. It just, we
Right.
could get, a Keeve Trennis. I would love to see them also pick up, Lorna D and,
Maybe she goes off with Laura D and they have adventures. I don't know. That's be a good place to start a story. So
it'd be kind of interesting.
we'll see. I'm assuming maybe within the
Yeah.
next 6 months they're gonna let us know if they're planning on keeping
Right,
all
right.
these, dropping any of them. I mean, they've
Right.
had 3 years of test work to find out what people like and not. So
Yeah, because we don't really have, from a publishing standpoint, we don't really have a lot.
yeah.
Not for what's coming after, yeah. But on this one, we do see that Keith. I mean, in this issue, we see a lot of Keith confronting propaganda and the
Yes.
emotional toll of leadership because she's a marshal now, right? So she's been promoted to marshal.
The Marshal of
Yeah.
the Fleet.
Yeah.
And not willingly.
Right. And
You have to mention this a position that was bestowed upon her that she necessarily did not want, but she did reluctantly take.
hmm and then Lorna D's also in a role of leadership also with her, like she's now one of the good guys, Lorna D, which is pretty cool. And she's also facing
She's
some
kind of like a vigilante.
minding.
We got to find out why the audio drama is called Tempest Breaker. I mean, her sole job is just to sabotage and destroy the Nile.
So we've got these mind-bending visions of her past, underscoring the themes of fear and identity with her. And then the story embraces her personal stakes amid a rising threat from the Nile. Yeah, that's basically it for this issue. And then in issue 2, Keeve and her team are patrolling the occlusion zone, cementing the fragility of the Jedi's influence in the galaxy. Meanwhile, Lorna's mission intensifies as Hatar's psychological attacks grow more personal and more powerful. Yes, because at first they think it's the Nile, they think it's the Nameless are attacking them because they're having these visions.
Yeah, but
but it's actually they have Hatar, which was the child. Remember?
They
So
made kind of fear engine is what they called it. and
Mhm.
they pretty much
Well,
project what she can do.
Child of the Storm.
Because Baron Bulin had captured Hatar, which was the child they were supposed to protect, and we didn't know what happened to her. And so he has her in this contraption, and they're using her from their ship, the Nile ship, to project fear onto all of the not just the Nile, not just the Jedi, right? It's does it also work on non-Jedi? I'm trying to remember. I know it's working on all the Jedi.
It only really works on the Jedi because remember,
Oh,
even
that's
the
right.
cover foreshadows it because it's Lorna sitting there and all the other like Jedi are.
No, the fear engine works on everybody.
On everybody.
When he
Oh,
gets,
that's right.
Okay.
because yeah, especially the final battle, you see everybody's kind of. We'll get to there, but everybody's seeing stuff that's not there, not just the Jedi.
But Hatar's really powerful,
Yeah.
which is really a shame. Spoiler alert for her ending.
Yeah.
Which is why Lorna Dean's the hero. If you remember,
Sort of hero, but
Yeah,
I mean,
she's
yes, in
she's
a
saying,
sad way. I mean, she's got to be the hero. It has to be her because a Jedi couldn't have done what she did. Um, and then it goes to issue 3. Uh, in issue 3, the plot thickens with the Nile mounting stronger offensives. Keith's leadership is tested as allied Jedi reinforcements join the forces, hinting at the upcoming large-scale confrontation. So the conflict escalates toward the climax, setting the stage for the Battle of Iriadu. And then remember how the storm wall just kind of dropped,
yeah,
and we didn't know how that happened? It explains it in the novel. So
I kind of figured that when I was
Yes.
reading it, like the way that it came down, I was like, okay, well, we saw it come down in the Adventures line with no
Yes.
explanation. Then we see
No explanation.
and that's what I was kind of because I haven't read the novel yet. I'm like, okay, so there's only one piece left that can possibly explain it, and so
Yeah, so filling in the gap for you guys since I finished the novel, when the Jedi had been collecting nameless. They have a dozen that they have in captivity back on Coruscant, like in cages, because they captured them because they figured out that the blight is connected somehow to the nameless. So because Markion Ro has captured these nameless and brought them from Planet X, that imbalance in the Force has caused the blight to spread within the galaxy. So the Jedi have learned, and because Reith Silas has figured this out because he's been doing research with
Wreath.
Reith and guy who
Jedi.
Aslan Rel, who gouged out his eyeballs. He's Aslan. He's been doing research with Aslan, getting a little too close with him, with his Sithy ways, and together they figured it out that the blight is connected to the nameless, and because the nameless have been removed from their homeland, which is the planet X, that caused the imbalance in the Force, which is causing the blight to spread throughout the galaxy. So the Jedi have secretly been, well, not so secretly, but they've been collecting all these nameless and not killing them, but saving them on Coruscant in the temple. And now the blight is also on Coruscant, but it's in the Jedi temple. And Yoda and like a dozen other Jedi are at the base of the temple and like in the basement, and they're able to hold off the blight through the Force. Because in the other novel, just before this final novel, they're able to cure the blight from Kashyyyk. Remember I told you about that one? How they did it with the Drengir
Mm-hmm.
and that Sith stone, and they got the shard. And Aslan Rel also helped with that one, and Aslan kept the shard, that little crystal. I told you about that. So anyway, they figure out a plan to take those nameless back. That if they return the nameless back to Planet X, that might reverse the blight. That's their plan. So they send all these Jedi with the nameless to go back to Planet X. And Markion Ro knows that they're going to do something. He doesn't know what because he had a meeting with Lena So to save the galaxy, right? And Lena So says no, she doesn't accept his terms because he shows up. He's like, look, I can reverse the blight because he has the Rod of Seasons,
Scepter.
right? And she just, but the Jedi tell him, hey, we can do this. We have a plan. So when she hears Eldar Man say that they have a plan, she tells Markion, no, we reject your offer. And he gets so mad. He's like, I don't know what they're doing, but they rejected me. And of course, Gira Staros, she's like, I knew it. You should have listened to me. So she's kind of like, okay. So he's mad. The Jedi take off. When they leave, they go to Planet X. Markion Rogue goes after them. He blows up his ship where he had the controls for the storm wall. When his ship blows up, essentially he traps himself and the Jedi on Planet X. That's when the storm wall falls. That's his plan. And at that point, that's when the storm wall's down. So his plan is now then to trap the Jedi there on Planet X because he wants the blight. He wants everyone to die in all the galaxy.
Right.
He wants Jedi to be unsuccessful. He doesn't care.
So he doesn't need the storm roll anymore. He just needs
No. He wants a Jedi to die and for them not to be able to get back and not to cure the blight because he wants the blight to spread it. It's spreading pretty fast. And so he doesn't want them to get back. So their ship is destroyed. He destroys his ship, which destroys he has the contraption that controls the storm wall, and that's how it falls. So anyway, that's a big aside from the novel. Getting back to the comics now, and that's why they're able to fight on the Battle of Area Du, and that's what the tide turns, and they're able to win on Area Du, right?
Well, yeah. Well, first, it allows what happens this episode. It allows the defense fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The RDC.
Get to Eridu, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest we find out more later. But first ones that ever pass the inclusion zone is the defense fleet.
Yep. Then we go to issue 4. Tensions reach a boiling point. The Republic fleet amasses near Eriadu against a dying yet desperate Nihil force. Keeve's resolve is fortified. Lorna and the Tempest Breakers get closer to Hatar, reflecting the inner cost of their mission. Characters head into the final showdown, fully embracing themes of unity and sacrifice.
I think it was this issue. I think it all gets blurred, where you see that giant, nameless, like Cthulhu, like enveloping the entire Stellan Geo ship, whatever it's called now.
Yes.
And at first I was like, what the heck is going on?
Cthulhu, yes. And Orbalin starts cutting himself into little pieces, right?
He has been doing it the whole time, though. He has been doing it the whole time.
I know. He keeps splitting himself into smaller and smaller pieces, but he's losing his mind.
No, but literally, that's correct, though, because he's not able to actually focus, and then parts of him are dying because he can't. So they're like, you need to put yourself back together like Humpty Dumpty, basically.
I know. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not funny. It's sad. But he's literally splitting himself into pieces. And at first he's half, right? So he's got half of his literal brain is over here and half is over there, and he flies 2 ships. But then he keeps splitting himself into smaller pieces. And because he's only a piece of himself, he's not able to fully function. He's less and less of himself. And
well, then it gets even worse every time one of those dies.
Yes.
It gets blown up, and then it's a piece of him is gone. Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. At the end said he's incapacitated, and he kind of just turned into a puddle. So I don't know if the other stuff never dies and it comes back to him, or if he can regenerate his lost stuff, or if he's going to be a puddle his whole life. But that's kind of
that was kind of sad.
I would say the way that he was going about it, I don't think he'd ever be able to return to the form that he was in. I think ultimately he was his own demise.
Well, I'm going to say a good storytelling probably would, but they seem to not lately, especially these runs, not been killing as many people off as they were in the beginning. So we'll see. I have a feeling they're going to bring him back.
Yeah. Well, one thing, speaking of bringing somebody back, I did love how they brought back Vildar Mac. Can we go back to that?
That's the issue, right? Was the
Oh
issue?
yes,
Well,
yes,
it's
that's right.
kind of an underlying thing though with Tay because of the fact that the hand of Siberius has been destroyed and he hasn't been the same since.
Yes.
It,
So
there's always there's that underlying story with him that's throughout too, and then obviously with the visions and stuff. Then yeah,
So what I don't understand with this whole arc is all of a sudden, like he's looking at the hand, and then the droid shows him a clip of Vildar dying. I don't know why the droid did that.
I think the droid is trying to remind him that Vildar's dead
What does
because
it need
that
to remember?
because he's being it's a vision that's being forced upon him, so it's not
I know
real.
that's kind of messed up though from your droid. Oh,
No, no,
well,
no, no. It's a
thanks
snap
for
him out
showing me
of it.
that.
It's a snap him out of it. It's not real.
What
Vildar's
makes
not
it
really
worse?
there.
It's a
Mm-mm.
catalyst to make him worse. He hits the droid and then he falls into the fear.
Yeah,
Whatever the droid is thinking, and not only to get him knocked out, it kind of
I know.
incapacitated Tay for a while.
I think it
That's
was trying to help him to remind him, Vildar's not really here. He's not really here. He's gone because Vildar and Tay, they were a couple, and they did but Vildar didn't live as it was not as long lived as Tay, and so Vildar did eventually die, and Tay saw him die, and he saw him on his deathbed, and Tay continued, and which is okay, because eventually Tay will die too, um, but at this point with this vision, he saw Vildar come back, and then Vildar, all of Tay's guilt got to him about the hand of what is it, Siberius,
mm,
and that he got from uh, that fallen library, right, on Jeddah.
yeah.
yep.
That and it was a
It was
Sith
in the,
artifact, right?
it was part of the.
It was a Sith artifact, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was one of the things that the Guardians of the Wills were protecting.
But he used it to fight against
Yes.
the Markian Rose goons.
So it allows you to use Sith lightning even if you
Hmm.
don't have
Yeah.
jet.
Oh, and we saw it prominently when we got into phase 3 and the main line of the Marvel book. He used it quite a bit, and then obviously we saw the age, taste direct, and so you definitely had been using it for a long time.
I kind of
Yeah.
wish there's a little bit more of a side effect. Is it's like a gateway drug into the dark side, but it didn't really do that much. I mean, maybe it did a little, but not as much as I thought it would have done.
But
Well,
it did take its toll on him, though.
yeah, and thing is like he wasn't a Jedi,
Mm-mm.
I
So,
mean, it's still a Sith artifact. I think anyone it should like affect. Like,
yeah, and it does. I just don't think it. I guess you can't say like just turn him to the dark side. I think it's more like he's just dealing with that good versus evil kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I really enjoyed that a lot because they're two of my favorite characters from the High Republic. I love them a lot.
We know.
Yeah, a lot. So really happy about that. Then that takes us to the final issue number 5, a grand climax at Iriadu. Jedi and Republic forces rally under Keith Trennis's inspiring leadership. Keith delivers a stirring speech about vulnerability and collective strength, reinforcing the message that even Jedi have fears and need allies. Master Sababa connects with Hatar's psychically. No, Master Sababa connects with Hatar psychically, urging mercy, but Lorna D tragically ends Hatar's life, raising haunting questions over whether redemption was possible. And that was kind of sad because it she could have been saved, but I think that Lorna was right. She had to destroy that ship.
At what cost? Yeah, you could probably save her, but while you're trying to get on that ship, while you're trying to board that ship, more
Yeah.
people are dying. More
Yeah.
people are. Yeah, it's at what cost?
I mean, Lorna
At,
D, she did the right thing.
at the needs of the many outweigh the needs of a few.
No, I totally agree that she did
Yeah.
the right thing. I mean, she did it, and she saved a lot of people.
Yeah.
She did the right thing, absolutely.
There's
And
even like a line Keeve said, like I don't think it was this issue. Somebody said we gotta kill as many of them or something, and then Keeve was like, "Well, I don't have to like that. We're killing them," something like that. But like,
yeah,
it's kind of like they played that thing a lot with this series. Is the Jedi really don't want people to die.
they
They really do
don't.
that a lot. So it was really like, even though
Mhm.
you're at war, you don't want them to die, which is very interesting. So yeah, I
Mhm.
saw that a lot.
And it's kind of a weakness of the Jedi.
Well, but that's kind of like the whole point of everything that we see with the High Republic to begin with, right? Like
Hmm.
the reason why they call it the High Republic is it was the height of the Jedi, but ever since that first novel, we've just seen this,
The
right?
decay, yes.
Yeah. So and that's why we saw the rules shortly after Starlight Beacon.
Yeah.
We see lightsabers being mass produced, right? Because they're kind of just forming like a Jedi army at this point, because they don't
Yep.
really know what to do. Like they've been able to kind of do whatever they want,
Hmm.
however they want.
And not only that, they're promoting Jedi that are younger,
Yep.
and not as well prepared, sending them out when they're not ready.
Right.
All of that starting now during this time period, which, for better or for worse, I mean, they have to, they have no choice. But yeah.
I hear the dog because
Yeah,
So, but that brings us to the end of these first 5 issues. But I I really liked it, and then I've read everything now. I finished all the books, all the novels. Uh,
so that one issue is not out yet. The finale of this run. So
no, it's
that's the
not.
one thing you're waiting on, huh?
I'm waiting on that. Yes.
yep.
But I also heard the authors, and they did say that that's not the end of the stories for these characters, which
Right.
I was happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I was sad. I was like, oh no. Because when I
I think
finished the book, I was really sad. Like, there's no more stories because I like these characters, a lot of them.
Well, I think now what's going to come down to is they kind of let Lucasfilm have their project, have their do things the way they want to do. So now I think they're gonna be a little more analytical coming at this. What characters, what books sold money, what books did sold money, which was a potential. So I think
Yeah. Which
we're gonna
stories were
follow
good?
we're gonna follow the popular characters going on.
Yeah.
Characters that I think kind of fell flat, they might not follow so much on, but
But some were really good.
yeah, I think some will
We
get
had some
some.
really good characters.
But I think we'll have maybe one or two lines, and
it
then
would have been
have
nice if Loden Greatstorm made it past the second novel, but thanks, Kevin Scott.
and he was like one of the best characters.
Well, but you know what, guys? Do you don't mind spoilers? No, you
I
mind
do.
spoilers. I know, but that's why I didn't say it. But you guys,
But you can't say
read, Bryce, read.
I do. I'm crushing a book right now.
Oh,
I'm getting there.
good stuff, you guys. I mean, I was so happy to see Tay and to see Vildar, because I thought I'd never see Vildar again because he was gone. And then to see him back, I was so happy. I'm like, oh, so anything can happen, somehow Palpatine returned, you guys. So there's always hope.
Yeah.
I think that line just gets so much criticism when we know, like in Legends, that Palpatine cloned himself so many freaking times.
Oh, he returned so many times. I don't know why
It's like,
you know what? He always returned in the EU, you guys. Come on, give it
Yeah.
up. He
Well,
always returned. It's so EU.
the fact they got rid of the EU and Legends and said it is Legends, and
You
then
know-
they tried start up again without that. That's
I
why
don't think
show us
they
the cloning.
got
Show us the cloning.
rid of
Legend doesn't mean they got rid of it. It means it was a legend.
Legends just is.
It's a legend.
Legends allows you
It's not
to
canon.
pull.
It's a legend.
It allows you to pull, though. Like, if you completely disregard it, then Thrawn should have never shown up in.
Yeah, put it in a story. Put it in a story. That's the problem with
The only
Palpatine. They didn't put the cloning in the story.
Okay, guys,
All
let's
right.
pay some bills. So So this is good. We're gonna get the final issue, and we'll see what happens, and maybe we'll see if Keith Trennis finally falls to the dark side. Because I think this was a little too much of seeing Hatar get killed like that, because she was super powerful, and I think, I mean, she was a little girl. You guys, Hatar was a child.
I don't think we'll see her change, but you might see some foreboding, like her saying, like maybe like the last panels, like maybe the Jedi Order's not for me or something like that. Some foreboding.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see
Are you cheating, Jonathan? Because you know something? Because I can do a spoiler alert because I do know something.
No, the issue's not out yet.
Oh,
not about the issue, but
What's what I'm talking about? The next issue.
Okay. Oh, okay.
All right.
Then I'll keep my mouth shut.
Which one are we doing? Okay, let's do the Everest autographs. All right, Everest autographs. Official Sended partner for Boonta Eve Special Edition Texas at everestautographs.com. Speaking of Boonta Eve Texas, tickets for Boonta Eve Special Edition Texas are now on sale at Virtual Cantina Network. It will be August 8th through 10th, 2025. Frisco, Texas.
Bryce is going to be there. Bryce is going to be there.
Go
meet our buddy Bryce.
Rebel Scum Conventions is where you'll find it located at.
Bryce will be signing autographs.
Oh, point the other way, Mike.
No, you're right there.
No, I'm
you see him that way? Mike is on my screen. He's the other way.
On my screen, he's right there.
You serious?
No, I'm in the middle. On my screen.
Yeah, you're in the middle. Shoot.
Now you're pointing at me.
Bryce is that way. Oh.
Oh boy.
All right.
Let's go like this.
Let's do the.
I'm poking both of you.
Now you can see.
I'm poking both of my buddies.
All right. Let's do the big one. All right. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. That is not the big one. Where's the big one at? Did they get rid of it?
I like the big one.
The one that talks about all the shows. I mean, where to find us everywhere.
Yeah, it's right here, Jonathan. Going across the bottom of the screen.
There's like 35. Oh, it's already running? Oh.
Yeah. It's been running.
There's like 40 tickers. All right. Be sure you're following us on our new website, virtualcantinanetwork.com, as well as YouTube at Virtual Cantina Network and Instagram at Virtual.Cantina Network and on X at Virtual Cantina, on Twitch at Virtual Cantina Network, and on TikTok. The main, I don't know where on TikTok. The main page, as always, is the Star Wars Celebration Los Angeles. I forgot we were going to be Los Angeles
2027.
That is the main page, and Mike is showing us his fuzzball, right?
I got fuzzball. This long tail. Look at this long tail. It's got a long tail.
Final tail.
And also a big shout out to our partner pages, Star Wars Comic Book Club and Star Wars Book Nerds.
Oh yes, I love those pages. They have all the comics and all the books.
All right. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
We'll see you in a couple weeks.
We are all the Republic.
Hi, this is author Timothy Zahn. You're listening to Virtual Cantina Network.